So here is the fire within, who is known as Fugo in the barn. And he's a 16 one-hand, 8-year-old thoroughbred gelding by Frisian Fire. And this kid has been off the track since I think it was July 2023. And a local hunter trainer to me, who's a friend of mine, got him when he retired from racing, and she did RRP with him last year. So he's a 2024 RRP grad. And she obviously did the hunters with him. And I have to say, I've watched a bunch of video of her doing hunter rounds with him, and he's beautiful and he always scores really well. And I can see why he's a phenomenal, steady, rhythmic jumper. And I'm gonna upload a bunch of that video and make another YouTube video of just his hunter round. So I can absolutely see this horse staying in hunter world and thriving there. He's obviously really good at it. My first impression of him, though, is that he's pretty darn bold. I spent some time getting to know him on the ground before I did this ride today because he hasn't been ridden in about 4 months. So I wanted to make sure I really gave him a chance to get to know me and me get to know him. Anyway, long story short, I took him out to my jump field on the lunge line, not really knowing what to expect, just sort of wanting to see what he made of it. And he literally self-lunged himself over all the logs, pipes, coops, barrels. I mean, he was just unbelievably brave and happy to do it with literally no prompting from me. If I put the jump in front of him with no wings whatsoever, he was happy to go do the thing. So I actually think he's quite a brave jumper. But nonetheless, his experiences in hunter world. So this is his first ride in 4 months, and obviously he's here to find his next human. His current owner is just very busy running a hunter jumper operation, tons of lessons, boarders, all the things. And so Fugo has fallen to the back burner a bit. So he is here to get going again and then find his next match. So this is really just me trying to get to know him. And I feel a little bit awkward on him because I'm not really used to riding hunter types. And so I'm sure that there's a little bit of a learning curve here between the two of us. He's trying to figure me out and I'm trying to figure him out. I will say that the hardest part about riding this horse was just keeping him going. He was so quiet. It was ridiculous. And like this horse did not lunge today before I got on. He just came right out to the ring and I got on, and it's a cool windy day compared to the weather we've had in Maryland. And he was just so quiet. It was ridiculous. I could hardly keep him in the canter. So sort of funny. I mean, he is a little bit fat and obviously he's definitely out of shape and all those things, but my goodness, was he quiet. So it was sort of amusing. Before we started trotting over poles and things, and the poles and things helped because that perked his interest and got him a little bit more excited. So it was easier for me to send him forward. But before we started doing the poles, I mean, I would ask him to canter. He would canter one step and fall out of it. And I just could not get him to continue going. So it was sort of hilarious. I felt a little bit like a lesson kid, like trying to kick my pony around the ring. But he was just a super good boy. And I'm sure that I'm riding him a little differently. I'm probably asking for a bit more of a frame than he's used to. And I'm sure he's not used to me using my seat as much as I'm trying to when I'm doing the things. And I'm sure that I'm making mistakes too. So, but anyway, he was fantastic and he was forgiving, and he is just so quiet and very brave. So Fugo is an interesting character because when you're on him, he's extremely confident and secure within himself, but he is a little bit quirky on the ground. I think that he's kind of the opposite on the ground. He's just a bit insecure, which is just it's always so interesting to me how they can be so different. I mean, I just think that thoroughbreds, for the most part, they really understand having a job and they like having a job. So as soon as you take out the tack and you start giving this horse something to do, he is just all business and happy to do it. And he's quite confident. And I did not sense any insecurities from him whatsoever riding him around today. But on the ground, he is a bit insecure. So he is definitely going to need a human who is calm and confident and can be his leader, because he's definitely not going to be the leader on the ground. So he's going to need somebody who can provide that structure and that security for him. And he is completely kind and sweet and all the things. He just acts a little anxious, I would say, sometimes on the ground. And he's settled a bunch since he's been here, and he's been standing nicely on cross ties, and He turns out fantastically with other horses. He's actually used to 24/7 group turnout. I just have him out with 7 right now, and they're doing really well together. But I am told that he needs Dorm for the farrier, so I think the insecurities really show up with the farrier. So Dorm for the farrier, and he's a very, very mild weaver in his stall. He does not weave at all in turnout, and the weaving is like so what's the word? It's just like so light. Like you can hardly, I honestly, if I'm not staring at him sometimes, I like can't even, you wouldn't even notice it because it's not aggressive weaving. It's just like this gentle little rocking back and forth thing that he'll do. It almost looks like he's like trying to like soothe himself or like sing himself a little lullaby or something. And the only time I've seen him weave, actually, is when I take Seven, who's his stallmate right next to him, and his fieldmate, actually. If I take Seven out of his stall to do something with him, then that's when I see that. Again, it's just insecurity. You see that little bit of insecurity crop up, where then he wants to do his little mild weave back and forth. He's standing very well on cross ties. He is really well mannered. I just think that on the ground, he just needs somebody who's going to provide, the confidence that he lacks a little bit. But certainly, I do not feel like that spills over to the riding. Now, I'm not saying that he should have some sort of nervous rider. That's definitely not the case. But he is just seems so cool, calm, and confident in the tack compared to how he is on the ground. And so this is his little bit of weaving. He's so cute. So I just took Seven out of his stall. So now he's coping with the fact that Seven's not next to him anymore. So there you go. That's what he does. And I've never seen him weave any faster than that. He is so cute. And so there you go. Those are his little insecurities that sort of can boil over.